Good morning, and welcome to what is my knitting design vlog. I haven't made one of these before, actually. Well, I sort of did one when I was designing the mice, but I didn't do one that covered a whole day. So my plan is to just basically document what I'm doing today when I'm going through doing my knitting stuff, between designing, knitting, videos, content creation, all of that kind of thing. Because I've got a whole day for it before I've got to be back at work at the end of the week. So it's going to be a really hot, sunny day. And so we'll try and get as much done as we can this morning. And then there's going to be a lot of editing. There's going to be some knitting design. There's going to be some pattern stuff going on later on today. So come along and let's see how we go. Right, so here I am working on my video for the star blanket, which was a lot of fun to make and knit. I tend to find that if I can record my videos before it gets too hot in summer, it makes a lot of sense. I still have to roll up these bits of yarn. That should be on my list of things to do this afternoon, but let's be completely honest, it's not going to happen. I'm going to fumble around with them a little bit too often. So other than this, I then also made a couple of TikToks because I've got a series of them to go out documenting this. Having some struggles with TikTok. I'm not a big fan, to be completely honest. And then I was working on some YouTube shorts as well because I'm finding that if I can get ahead, I might be able to sustain all of this through my busy period at work. The other thing that I was working on was obviously actually having a life. I made a cup of coffee. I did some breakfast. I fed the chickens. Who are we kidding? I actually probably put the chickens back in their chicken run because that's what the chickens seem to need to do all the time. We named one of them Houdini. All she wants to do is break out. Now she's got some babies. All she wants to do is break out with the babies. Oh, she's terrible. However, she's great at the same time. But so there was a lot of filming that got done, a lot of chickens that got done, a little bit of gardening that got done. And then it's 10:44 and I'm finally having breakfast. Like, this is an incredibly late breakfast for me. Normally I'm a breakfast before 7 o'clock. But then I found this, you see, on TikTok. This is probably the coolest thing ever. And I decided I want one. And so I went and ordered a book. Okay, so far what I've managed to do is I've filmed the end of my 6-day crochet star blanket video, and then I was just cruising on TikTok as I posted a morning TikTok. I'm new on TikTok. I don't have many followers at all. I keep managing to get it wrong, but everybody tells me I need to have one. So now I have one, and I'm trying to post daily on TikTok, so by all means come follow me on TikTok. While I was posting on there, I saw something from the Lazy Library Knitter where she's making a vest or a jersey. I'm not sure what she's doing, but it's her favourite book cover. Those of you who are long-time followers, I'm involved with Booktown New Zealand, and we're coming up this year to the big Booktown where it's the world Booktowns are coming, and it's the International Booktown in Featherston. It's going to be a big deal. So, of course, I have suddenly decided that that's what I'm going to do, is knit a vest. And probably Hamlet, if I can make William Shakespeare fit on one line. So now I really need to design that on top of everything else and find some yarn. I shouldn't buy yarn. Oh, I'm probably going to buy yarn, let's be honest. Because if I do the Penguin Classics edition, it's orange, white and black. And what's one of my favourite colours? Orange. What's one of my favourite things to do? Shakespeare. It just seems like a no-brainer. Anyway, that's wasted some time this morning doing things that I am not supposed to be doing. So I will now go and make a coffee and work out what's next. So a few months back, I went down south and I picked up this yarn from the Royal Albatross Centre in Dunedin. And then I ordered this yarn here to complement it because what I wanted to do was design and create some socks. And this is here the socks that I've ended up creating, or at least coming up with the idea from. What I want to do is to use the blue bits, because the albatrosses have blue feet, and do that around the heels and the toe, and that will help strengthen the sock, because the yarn that I got is just a 4-ply merino. Uh, there's none of the nylon in it that strengthens things for socks, and I don't really want to waste expensive yarn on socks that I'm just going to get a hole in, to be completely honest. So I bought this other stuff from the West Yorkshire Spinners, I think it is. And the plan is that I'm going to come up with some sort of lacy, feathery type motif that goes down the centre of the sock, because albatross feathers, they signify peace, among other things. Yeah. And then I got working on my Hamlet top. So here's my chart finished up, and then it's time to start working on my patterns. So this is all my notes for my duck patterns. I've got them in Google Docs at the moment. What I used to do is do them in Pages, but I think that looks a bit dated and it's a bit clunky. Then I was turning them into PDFs on Google Docs themselves, but I just don't like that either. It's just problematic. So I've gone over here and I'm trying to create something that looks a little bit better, just using Canva, and we'll see how we go, because I don't know how it's going to go. But we're now up to 12:27 and I'm not done. By the time I get all the duck patterns in there at 9 pages, I'm up to another hour later at 1:30. It's like the whole day's disappearing, but at least now in the Google Drive I've got my PDF sitting there and I can work out what to do. Then it was time to get some vanity shots of my little ducks. So here they are in my cucumber patch, just hanging out. That's my female mallard. There's my male mallard. No, female paradise duck. And my male paradise duck. Then we're going to swing past the female again. Then we've got the mallard there in the background. And then there's my rubber ducky. Rubber ducky's kind of cute, but it doesn't really make sense at the same time. Well, I've now spent the last 3 hours working on mallard duck knitting patterns PDFs and uploading it to Etsy, even though that's not where I want to keep it long term. I'm now tempted to just do my Ribbler stuff, and then maybe I might get to some actually knitting, and it's 3:45 in the afternoon, which means I might get an hour of knitting before dinner, but who knows. But I am pleased with the design progress and the update online stuff that's been happening, because I've got a few videos made. I haven't edited anything that was on the plan for this morning, but I do have the content there that I can sit down and edit at some point. So that's something. Well, right now it's just before 5, and I haven't done any knitting. I have done some filming, I have made some socials. I've put the mallard duck PDFs up on Etsy, and I've sent out a tester call on Ribbler. So we'll see how that goes. Because being 12 hours out from everybody else is always very odd. Now I think I'm just going to sit and do some knitting and work on my albatross socks that I was designing this morning. And what I should do is write up some more of the fruit mice patterns. That might get put off until tomorrow, because I spent most of the afternoon working on the duck ones, thinking that that was what I needed to do, but I think I need to do the fruit ones as well, to be honest, because the sugar mouse one comes out tomorrow. Tomorrow? No, the sugar mouse one comes out on Friday, so that's going to date this video somewhat, other than just the heat. Yeah, so I will do some knitting and make some notes about the fruit mice patterns. Maybe. There's a video I do want to watch, and do some knitting with, so I might do that. Yeah, because I'm sick of looking at my computer. So I haven't really done this bit before, but this is kind of cool. There's my tester call for the mallard, and comments from people who think it's cute, even if they can't knit. But it's nice to know people have seen it. Right, this is ridiculous. I just stumbled across this ball of yarn that I've had for a few years, and
I think I made a pair of socks out of its matching buddy, but I haven't got around to using this one. It's just sitting here looking at it saying, oh, look, this colour there is the same colour as this one. This orange is the same as that orange. This yellow is not quite the same as this one. This one's a little bit brighter, but it's... the blue is the same blue. I would not have thought that I would have accidentally bought the exact same shades of rainbow, to be honest. But that's very cool. I need to make these.
Now, right before tea, I'm trying to trial out this new system of trying to film from my point of view. Now, I can't quite work this one out straight away because, like, lining up the tripod, lining everything, just trying to get everything going, and I'm not sure whether or not this is going to be too bumpy. And it feels like I have to look into the screen rather than looking at what I'm doing. So there's times here where I'm stabbing the yarn with my pointy needles. At the same time, I'm trying to watch, I think it's either Passionate Kelsey or it was someone who was deciding to crochet an entire outfit in a day, which, you know, more power to them. I don't think I could do that, but there's part of me that really wants to do that challenge. There's a few challenges out there that I'd like to give a go at. But at the moment, my big challenge seems to be, how can I film actually knitting something in a way where you can see what's happening on my needles? Because I'm well aware of the fact that my knitting style isn't necessarily one that works well because my fingers do tend to be in the way of what's going on, and just finding out how to set the camera up and how to get a shot that isn't too distracting and isn't too, well, it isn't shielding what it is that you need to see, so that I can make the tutorials the way I want them to be. But it's just sort of that getting around the struggle of how do you actually see what it is that you're knitting at the same time as filming it and make sure that everything's centered and it looks good. But that's where we're up to on my albatross sock anyway. Alright, well, it's the evening of the same day and I've had to put on more clothes because it started to cool down, and look at this. This might be a thunderstorm. That would be nice. I still actually haven't really had much chance to knit. I've done a bit of work on my sock this afternoon. I've looked at some yarn to knit the vest that I didn't realise I wanted until earlier on this morning and then designed. That's a bit of a worry. And I spent far too long working on the duck patterns compared to getting sorted on the mice ones, which means that tomorrow morning I'm going to have to get working on the mice ones and work on getting these videos edited, because I've got a whole stack of videos now that are there that need editing. So I might just continue this vlog tomorrow morning, but we'll see how we go, because I've got a hair appointment. The first one in about 3 months.